technically, you don't need supporting characters in your story, but those kinds of stories are pretty much relegated to the stage and not the screen. In fact, supporting characters make stories more interesting and more entertaining, and they can serve lots of functions, but if they are not, at minimum, helping or hindering your main character, you need to delete them. Yeah, I said that. I'm going to break down what I mean when I say helping and hindering in a second, but there's two things you have to know. And if you don't know these two things, it's going to be hard for you to even create solid supporting characters, much less do the helping and hindering stuff they got to be doing. And the two things are this. One, you have to know what a story is. And two, you have to know what a supporting character is. And as far as the first one, a story is simply this. Someone who wants something badly is having trouble getting it, and they get it or they don't. So you have a main character, a protagonist, who is going after something or trying to avoid going after something, and this is what your story is about. And in nearly every story, there is also a character who is an antagonist, the person the protagonist is fighting against. And the antagonist is a supporting character, and they are primarily hindering the main character, the protagonist, from obtaining the thing that they're trying to obtain. And in case you're new to the craft, I'll give two very simple examples and then a caveat to this whole antagonist thing. If a pirate, say Peg-Leg Pete, is trying to find buried treasure, and an enemy pirate, Bart the Butcher, is trying to either stop or kill Pete or beat Pete to the treasure, in this case, the supporting character of Bart, the bad guy, is hindering Pete, the good guy, from obtaining the treasure. Example 2, if criminal Kathy is trying to avoid getting caught by fleeing to Mexico, FBI agent Frida is trying to catch her. In this case, the supporting character of the FBI agent is trying to hinder the progress of the main character, Kathy. So in both cases, we've got a protagonist who wants something badly and an antagonist who is often the greatest obstacle or hindrance in the protagonist's way of them trying to get what they're after. And hopefully these two examples simplify it enough for you. And remember, you don't need to overcomplicate things. Stories really are this simple. But here's the caveat. If you're writing a disaster movie, an earthquake, a volcano eruption, a meteor, zombie apocalypse, whatever, doesn't matter, the enemy, the antagonist, the supporting character is always the same. Time, or its cousin, the aftermath. So at some point, the earthquake is going to go, the eruption is going to happen, the meteor is going to hit, the zombies are coming out, so time runs out, or disaster happens, and now the main character and those with them are fighting for survival against the aftermath of whatever went down. So in this case, you have a non-character or group of non-characters, if it's zombies or aliens or whatever, that are hindering the main character from doing what the main character is trying to do, which is usually to survive. And I think we can generally understand this element of hindering and the fact that hindering is what antagonists and antagonistic forces do. And that's hopefully pretty simple and straightforward. But you usually have more than one supporting character. You've got love interests and BFFs and minions and loyal friends and whatnot, so more than just the antagonist. And for however many supporting characters you have, and really most stories don't have more than 4 or 5, and that includes the antagonist or the disaster, whichever it is, each of the other supporting characters have to be helping or hindering the main character. And if they don't serve that function any longer, they're done. Sometimes they die, sometimes they leave, sometimes they just abandon their used-to-be best friend, but they don't serve a story function any longer. So they're gone. And regardless of who the supporting character is, even if they are on the team of the protagonist, they have to be doing one or the other. And amazingly, supporting characters can actually do both. So when the best friend who was initially helping the protagonist later betrays them, now they're hindering. But when they have a change of heart and secretly get the inside scoop on the antagonist and then they tell the protagonist, now they're helping. When the BFF sets up the protagonist on a date, they're helping, unless they're getting them out of the way for something that the BFF actually wants, so now they're hindering. And what makes this more fun, just like with antagonistic forces, you can have a group of people on a team that kind of serve as one big supporting character, like the minions in Despicable Me. The minions are on the side of Gru, but they're often hindering his progress because of their antics, and yet at times they help Gru. So a supporting character can help for a bit, and then hinder for a bit, and then back to helping. And a great example of this is Boromir in the Fellowship of the Ring. Boromir hinders at the council, helps in teaching the hobbits to fight, hinders when he's tempted by the ring, helps fighting in the caves, hinders when he tries to take the ring, and helps defend Merry and Pippin. And this helping and hindering is what makes supporting characters interesting characters. Gollum is the same way, sometimes helping, most of the time hindering, and it makes us more engaged. But if your supporting character is neither helping nor hindering, then you're either dealing with a string character and not a supporting character, or you need to get rid of that supporting character altogether because they're not really supporting anything. Remember, supporting characters should at minimum be helping or hindering, and as a bonus, have them go back and forth if you can. But if they aren't doing at least one of those things, either helping or hindering, you have a problem with your supporting characters, and you need to reevaluate whether or not you need that specific character in the story at all. More than likely, you don't need them, and the story will be better without them, or at least shift that character into a string character. Now, if you're not sure what a string character is, or even what a supporting character is, and you want a little more information, watch this. Thank you for watching. Fun buttons and links below, and when you tell a story, make sure your supporting characters are helping or hindering, and tell a story that matters. See you later.